Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast today. The Lifeline Word exists to help inform, inspire, and involve you in your life. Help you to go to that next level of involvement, of blessing, of purpose-driven life, and a life that will hopefully link with so many other people. We've seen a lot going on in these last 2 years of the pandemic, but we're still here. And we are learning now that we can't get away from this, that no amount of legislation, no amount of protocol, issue and practice is going to get us through this. We must learn to live with it, still do the things that need to be done. Don't get me wrong. Protocols are very, very important. We want to do those. We want to carry those out. But at the same time, we now are in a new season. I want to draw your attention to Ecclesiastes Chapter 3, in which we read, "To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to mourn, a time to laugh, a time to," okay? And you have the whole listing of all those things. Plant, build up, gather, throw away. And then we are told that God has made all things beautiful in His time. The pandemic is something that's happening in a given season. It's happening in a given time. And yet we are told that in spite of all that's going on, God expects us to get involved, and God expects us to work in this time. God expects you to work in the time that He has given you. Now, we're told that man has been given 70 years. That's 70 years to get whatever you need done. Imagine having 70 years to fulfill your purpose, and by reason of strength, 80. So many of us will go beyond our 70 years. And we will live on well into our 80s. And people are now living well into their 80s and 90s, still carrying out the purpose because there's something else, something left to be done. So here are the things that you've got to understand. 2022 is a new year chronologically, but it's the same period of time in terms of the kairos, in terms of the season. We're in that same season of doubt, of misinformation, a season of people who are resorting to violence, people who resort to alternate lifestyles, people who are seeking to resolve things through conflict, terrorism, and so on. And so it's the same season that's been going on. But God still expects us to perform. He expects us to produce. Listen, God still wants you to learn what it means to excel at your task, to do well in school, to extremely be supportive of your family, to continue to build family life, to know what it is to continue to raise children in the fear and admonition of the Lord in spite of the pandemic. The pandemic is no excuse to act crazy. It's no excuse to do crazy things. But you and I have got to get to the place where we must learn now that God is doing a new thing. What He's doing is He's raising a generation of people in their season, in their time, and allowing them to be productive with all of the challenges coming against them. Now, can you imagine the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry and now Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and all the people who played with them? Imagine if Steph said to the coach, "Coach, I could score more points if you could just keep the other players off of me. Let them not get in my way. Just let me stand and shoot threes all day." The coach would say, "Steph, that's crazy. People are going to come at you. That's the way the game is played." The game of life is very simple. You have to learn to score with people with their hands in your face. You've got to score with defenders on you, 2 and 3 people. And if you're a football player and we're coming up on Super Bowl time, it's even worse. The minute you pick up the ball, there are 11 people looking for you, and they're going to tackle you and bring you down. And they are physical, and they don't apologize. But yet you're expected to produce even under pressure. My friend, listen. The fact that you are here means that God has given you a potential and a purpose and time to get it done. You have time to get done what God has given you to do. When you choose your work, you can put it down anytime you get ready. But when your work chooses you, you can't put it down. I love teaching. I love counseling. I love helping people to access all of their abilities and to use their potential and to do all the things that God has called them to do. And so doing this is no problem. I love doing this. This is an amazing thing. But I want to say to you today that you've got to, first of all, find your purpose. Find your calling. Know what God has called you to do. Find the one thing that you will do at 2 o'clock in the morning. That no one has got to ask you. No one's got to pay you to do it. No one's got to beg you to come and get it done. No, you'll get it done. And the thing that you can do without being paid. Something that you will do without getting a pat on the back and without being recognized. No kudos for it. Can you still do it? That's your calling. That's the one thing that brings you joy. The thing that you will do without prompting. You just have a desire to get it done. So the time that Solomon talks about involves a time for everything. And you're going to find in this season that we will face every one of these. We will face sickness. We will face death. We will face loss. We will face disappointment. We will face aloneness and loneliness. We will face the time of being broke and you just don't have the money to do what you want to do. You'll face times when you have to stop and be still and just listen to God. And so just know that whatever you are doing, God is going to give you time to get it done. Time to be still and to know that He is God. And to know that if He has brought you this far, He's going to take you through 2022. So as we start this year, go into it with the knowledge and with the desire that you are going to finish the year. You will not drop out. You will not get tired. You will not faint. You will not give up. In fact, you'll use the words of Paul in 1 Corinthians 15:58. Be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. And so, my friend, today I want to encourage you. This is your new season. It's time to get it done. It's time to find those who are of like minds. Now, forget those who don't see and don't appreciate what you're doing. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Some people you got to say, see you later. Or as the young people say, see you, don't want to be you. You've got to learn to leave the deadbeats and the dropouts alone. They're not the ones you fellowship with. They're the ones you may be called to try and help. But you can't look to them for strength and for encouragement. Look to the people who have a mind to do the will of God. People who want to see you succeed. People who believe in your task and who believe in your goal and who believe in your vision. And folks, let me end with this last statement. Without vision, the people perish. Without vision, you perish. Without vision, our governments perish. Without vision, our schools and teachers perish. We need to have a vision of possibility. Not just spend all day arguing on the social media outlets and arguing in the news and before the media and talking about we want in person, no, we want online, we want virtual. Listen, whatever you do, education is education. However you have to do it, however you can do it, you got to find a way to get it done. And so be encouraged today and know that if you take a stand, if you do what needs to be done, don't waste your time this year arguing with people. I mean, I've had my shots, my boosters, but hey, that's not a source of deliverance. That's simply to give me some more immunity. What I've got to learn to do is that still be careful. And I want to say to you, don't be reckless. Be careful. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Keep your distance. Do whatever makes sense so that you not only will not catch the COVID virus, but you won't catch any of these other opportunistic diseases that are going around. And so, friend, the worst disease of all is discouragement. So be encouraged today. Just know that God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or even think, according to the power that works in us. So be encouraged today. Gather yourself together. Pick yourself up. Get up off the floor. Stop looking down at yourself. Stop feeling bad about yourself. And decide that you will be a winner. Amen.